Good Monday morning. Today I would like to show you a little experiment of mine that I'm doing right now called Junction. I found that it can be a pain in the ass to develop against endpoints that are either slow or rate limited. So I created this little cache that lies between the endpoint and your actual code that helps you out and makes development flow a little better. That's what we're going to look at today. I am MPJ and you are watching Fun Function. Today's episode is sponsored by the lovely people at TipTap. They are currently hiring. If you know someone who would like to work with Node.js or React Native in the heart of Stockholm, please send them to tiptap.com/FFF. You can find that link in the episode description. I'm wearing a hoodie today because I feel cold, because I still have a cold, or actually it's not a cold, I think it's a sign. As you might know, I live in Sweden, which makes me very lucky. We have one of the best living standards in the world, but as a punishment for that, we have incredibly boring and cold and dark winters, which I'm right now suffering through the end of. The darkness makes you hate everything and yearn for springtime. Blah. Let's do some coding to cheer us up. So I have a project here, and you know what? I'm gonna show you where we're going. Let me do Google Chrome. Here's some API documentation. So I'm doing this integration with the Fun forum, which is the private patron-only forum for Fun Function, which I'm doing a lot of integrations with and I'm coding on against. And right now, as a part of a project I'm doing, I want to get a list of all the badges that are available in the system. And there's an endpoint for that called get list of badges. Where is it? It's here. Okay, so it's like my discourse installation, and then I get admin badges.json. So I'm just gonna copy this. When I play around with APIs, I like to let's first create a module. We're just gonna call that module list badges, and by module I just mean like contained unit in the code. Like in React that would be a component, and in some systems it might be a function, but you know, like module just in the general term, like unit that is separate from things, modular. And I like to begin by creating a sandbox.js. This is actually a test that is being executed by Wallaby. Let me show you about what I mean by that. Let's call it list badges sandbox books. And then just do function body, and then let's start Wallaby. Wallaby is a very fancy test runner. They are a sponsor of the channel, full disclaimer, but they're not actually sponsoring this video. I just use them in this video because I use Wallaby a lot personally and I just love it. They're getting this one for free. Let's see. So let's say if I throw an error here, throw new error, you see that, oh, the test now breaks. Wallaby is a great test runner, but that's actually not what we are interested in. Today we are interested in its like continuous running and inline evaluation capabilities. So I just want to we're gonna create a function called let's do this first. Let's call list badges. Let's do it TDD-ish style. So list badges is not defined. Const list badges. Let's define that. Oh, actually, let's create a function because I feel like it. Right now I'm into not using too many arrow functions, but using like normal functions wherever, because I feel like it. I'm having a phase. Okay, and we want this to, when we get a response, we get the badges, and then we do like, we want to see what the first badge looks like. Okay, cannot read property then of undefined because list badges is not returning, you know, any promise. It's just an empty function, so it returns undefined. So let's actually just make it an async function. Like that makes it return a promise, but this is not showing anything. Hang on. This is... No, of course not, because it's returning a promise that never evaluates. So let's actually return an array with badges. Like, let's just show badge hello. Oh, can't type. You know this, that I'm unable to type if you are a regular viewer of our channel. So you see that, okay, it's an array and it returns the first item, it's an array. These things here, that's like a special Wallaby comment that allows me to inline evaluate stuff and get them here, which is, oh, it's so nice. Let me delete this line because it's distracting. But let's fetch some actual data in this thing. So, you know, let's fetch and then paste this thing in. And what happens here? Like, just return that. What happens? Does this work? I'm amazed that this didn't. What is happening? I expected this to break horribly, really. What happens if I remove the async? Okay, fair enough. That makes more sense. Right, you can't see it because my face. Okay, so you see that here fetch is not defined. Wonder why. Why does this break when I do this? That makes no sense to me. Oh, it's because I'm returning a promise and then that's... So it will work if I did this, right? No, it didn't. I have no idea. That doesn't matter. Leave a comment if you know why that failed. I'll give you a golden star. Anyway, fetch is not defined. That's because we don't have it. So let's just, this is a node environment. So that's why we don't have it. Require node fetch. And you might wonder, how could he do that without installing? And I couldn't really, because I prepared this like a good cooking show. I've installed node fetch before. Fetch. Okay. It's just 2 milliseconds. This is not anything. What is happening? What is badges anyway? Let me remove this. Perhaps this gives me an idea about what is thing. Okay, weird. Let me check the Wallaby console. Is something breaking or something? No, you know why. Like, we're doing like a curly bracket function here, which means that the error body is not returning anything. So if there's an error here, it will just vanish into thin air. So I need to return it to jest in order to actually get it. Perhaps that failure fails better. Yeah, it fails better. Request to blah 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 failed. Yeah, because this is a bullshit domain. It doesn't exist. Right. So I could change this to be funfunforum.com. Let's see, funfunforum.com, which is the, see what we get then. Passing. Okay, we actually get a response. That's nice. What is this then? Show me what you got. This is, I expect this to show some kind of evaluation. No, wait. Okay, now we actually get a failure here. You can, I better just show you what the hell I'm clicking on, or it will be confusing. I'm clicking on this, which gives me, like, shows what What is passing? By the way, I have another passing test. What is... Oh, it's actually running the test inside of this thing, this other module. That is... We'll get to that in a minute. So, the request to funforum.com/admin-badges.json failed. Reason does not match. Okay. What? Com. Oh, I wrote com. Com. Okay, save that. Come on, reevaluate. It's succeeding, but it's not actually showing anything here yet. God, is this so slow? Oh! Let's look at the console. Is anything... Oh! You know, I think I actually know what is happening. It's because fetch, like, this is just not happening. It's timing out. I bet you this is timing out. Fun forum? Why can't I even type the name of my own forum? Okay, passing. Okay, now I actually get a response. It wasn't timing out, it was me being dumb. That's the problem. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where things doesn't work as a programmer and you like, what is wrong? It's probably you that is wrong. You're horrible. Let's see. Okay, so let's do the response dot thing and then response dot JSON because we want the JSON from the JSON. Okay, that gives me function JSON? No, it's reevaluate. It's reevaluate is too fast. Okay, I thought that this. Let me delete this because it's. This, I expected this to be stuff right now, but it's not. It's not. Yeah, and it's probably because the response is empty because we're not properly authenticated. So actually, let me just start debugging things here and do like response.status. What is happening here? What is that? Come on. What is happening? Let me console thing. Sorry, I just had to, like, it reevaluates a little bit too fast, so and sometimes it's cache. Wallaby is not perfect, but sometimes you just have to like enter and save and get it to reevaluate. Anyway, so the response is 404 because this doesn't exist, which is because we're probably not providing it with the correct authentication details. So what we actually need to do here is to weld all kinds of things on top of this URL, like an API key and stuff. And like a good TV chef, I have prepared a function to do this. So it's called const discourse URL require discourse URL. And it's that thing, discourse URL. And then I just pass this in. Hang on, I'm gonna remove this thing here, and that is going to make magic. It didn't. No, wait, I've forgotten a parens. Now it's magic. Oh, ha ha ha! 200 response. Let's see what it becomes if we JSON it. Response.json. Return that as well. What else happening? Oh my god, we get some JSON thing. Okay, there's a lot of... It's a big response, so it doesn't display well in line. There's actually, if you go to Wallaby, I don't remember the URL, Wallaby app. Oh, you go to this thing. And then it actually shows you like your run because Wallaby acts as a web server. So I can go to, no, that's the wrong test. That's the other test. I can go to my test here and then see like the output here, which is really handy. So you see here that it's a promise which has a badges property and then it like an array of bleh. Lots of stuff we don't care about. I really just care about the name and ID. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce a fictitious problem. Usually when I work with APIs like these, they are sometimes heavily rate limited or very slow. I did a video a while back where I just had like, oh, I figured that I could use like this VAT API. It's a tax API. But I just ran out of credits while doing the video, so I had to go and buy more credits. It was super annoying because it was limited on the amount of credits. It might also be that the API is just very big or very slow, or maybe like calling the API has side effects, such as a payment API or something like that. So for that, I've done this many times, and I'm finally starting to create like a little library, a tool for it, and I call it Junction. So this is how it looks like. I'm going to Junction require Junction file cache. It's actually going to call that make Junction. And then I'm going to do const junction function, junction make junction, and I'm going to pass it the name of a directory where I want this junction to put its logs or its cache. So I'm going to call that list badges. And I'm going to do that because this directory is called list badges, so it's going to put itself in there. And now I'm going to wrap fetch here in the junction. So I'm going to call this like I'm going to call this fetch body. That's kind of like the name of the cache, so to speak. And then I'm going to wrap this entire thing, including the JSON parsing, like that. So now, if everything went right, sorry, cannot find module junction file cache. I think I need to do that. Yes, okay, we're fine. Right now, you'll see that, oh my God, new directory appeared here, junction cache. And if I look inside that, you'll see that it has cached the response of the entire thing. So now I can actually start like playing around with this a little bit. So I can start doing then dot, I'm gonna call it body. Body. And then I can check that out. Fine, I can check the length if I am able to type. It doesn't have a length. No, it's because it has that property. I can actually check the fetch body here just as a kind of documentation. It has a badges property. So let's do badges.length. Oh, God damn it. Body.badges.length. 55. It says 55 items. So actually, let's do map here. And then do badge, and then get the badge.name. Was that it? Okay, then I get all the names here. Notice how fast is this? And that is because it's not doing a network call anymore. It's just using the cache. So I could actually turn off my internet connection now, and I could still be able to debug this. So this is very handy if you are working on working against endpoints that you're not quite sure enough how to model the data. You want the real data from the real endpoint, but you don't want to keep hammering it with requests. It might be that the API is slow, it might be that it's rate limited, or it might be that you want to work against an API endpoint on a train. If you want to invalidate the cache and force the junction to get new data, you can either just delete the file if you want, but there's also a quick handy way of doing it. You can just add a number here and it will like immediately refetch the thing, and if you wanted to refetch again, you just change it to another number or remove the number, and that purges the cache and forces forces it to evaluate. And the reason why it's so nice to have it inline is because that works really well with inline evaluators like Wallaby, because changing this file will force the entire thing to reevaluate immediately. If you just delete the file, then you would have to fiddle around with the file to re-trigger the render. And yeah, the number thing, it's just a little bit faster. Anyway, let's keep working with this a little bit. So I want the name, but I don't like, I want the ID as well. So let me, return a new object and do name, badge.name, and then ID, badge.id. And it's breaking for some reason. What is happening? It expected a thing. I think it expected parents. All right, awesome. Now it looks like the way I want it. Perhaps, okay, so let's make this just a little bit more functional because I like functional const. Let's extract this out as JSON. Const as JSON. Boom, 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 boom. I know I said in the beginning of this episode that I'm doing less arrow functions, and you know, like, I'll be honest with you, that was a lie. And then we have this thing here. You know, it feels like this should be able to, you know, let's pull in Ramda actually, because I'm feeling like in a Ramda mood. Create integrated terminal, npm I Ramda. Like, Ramda is, it's a functional library that is, doesn't really make you more productive, but it makes you feel really smart. Sometimes makes you more productive. Let's see here. This function here just basically extracts just the name and badge ID. I think the way this works is it's r.pick. Let's actually just inline evaluate here. Because that's more fun than checking out docs. So let's call it ID and then name, and then we pass something in here, like a badge, the fake badge, ID dot. No, that makes no sense. 1, 2, 3. All right, and if I add a name. Okay, it does what we want it to be. See how cool this was? Like, inline evaluation, like immediate inline evaluation is so nice. So let's call this little function that we created const simplify a badge. Paste it there, delete this thing, and then I'm gonna use our new function here, like called simplify badge. La 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 la. Okay, still predictable output. That's nice. Notice that I'm just doing this here would have just hammered and hammered and hammered the endpoint. And if it was rate limited, I probably would have just slammed it. But it doesn't. All right, so this body here does kind of two things. It extracts the badges out of the body, and it does the mapping using simplified badge. So let's actually break out the body extraction as first, or the badges extraction first. So then body dot badges. And we're gonna call it extract badges. Not sure if that is a good name, but whatevs. Extract badges, and then we have badges here, so we don't need to care about the body. There, okay, results are still nice. And we can actually then do like const simplify badges. And then badges, then we just grab this thing here, there, and we just use this function here instead. Simplify badges. And because we are being Ramda assholes today, I want to use Ramda here instead to make it shorter. And then I can just do this. If you couldn't figure that out, it's because you're not a functional genius like I am. Okay, I'm joking around. I actually think that this is pretty cool and also perfectly readable. Irony, it's so hard, you shouldn't use it online. All right, that's Junction. A little bit of little tool that you can use when you are working against endpoints that are slow or expensive or have side effects, or if you're on a train. It's just very nice, and it works really well when you're working with stuff like Wallaby that just inlights, evaluates all the things when you save, which is just very nice when you are a human being in existence. Inline immediate evaluation is very nice. I hope that was useful to you in some way. If you wonder anything, post a comment. If you liked it, post a comment. Have you made anything like this? Post a comment. Do you have a dog? Post that the name of that dog in the comments. Again, don't forget to check out our sponsor of today's episode, TipTap. The link is in the episode description. You have just watched an episode of Fun Function. I release these every Monday morning, 0800 GMT. If you are forgetful, you can subscribe here so that you don't miss it, and even turn on notifications in the YouTube app if you want to be spammed by push notifications. Or you can just check out another episode right now by clicking here. I am MPJ. Until next Monday morning, stay curious.